I have been criticized as single-handedly ruining the world because I'm creating an AI platform. And I think, to be fair, yes, AI is creating new infrastructure that needs to be built, new supercomputers that need to be built, and a lot more energy is going to be needs to be used to create a thing. But guess what? Every era of improvement brings a new set of naysayers, brings a new set of people that are going to push forward. So you need to decide which side you're going to be on, or just be neutral and just see how it all plays out. But I think let's give it a chance. It doesn't have to be your enemy. It can work for you. And just like any other thing that you buy or you use the products that you feel resonate with your values, your morals, and you can't go wrong.
My guest today is Crystal Petroski, and she's my LinkedIn friend, and I've been following her for quite some time. And she is the founder of Skill Resy, which hits home for me because if you watch any of my content, you know I'm all about building your brand within a brand, aligning your archetype with an industry that speaks to you. And she is created this platform that uses the power of AI to help you land a role that you're looking for or build a team. Now, obviously, I don't know all the ins and outs of how this works, and I do have my personal thoughts on some AI, but we're going to let Crystal speak to all of this. So I want to start off first by welcoming you to the show. Thanks for spending some time to talk with me today.
Thank you so much for inviting me, Wes. And I'm excited to talk about AI and all the things that I've created and why. And also inform your audience about, some of the synergies that we have.
Sweet. So, yeah, let's get into that. Tell me a little bit more about Skill Resi.
Good question. There's so much to say, but to make it very basic, it's an AI powered career and hiring platform that's designed to improve both sides of the hiring process. So it's not just for job seekers, it's also for employers. For candidates, the platform helps eliminate one of the most time consuming parts of the job search, which is constantly customizing your resume for each job application, which, if you're not doing, you should, because you're missing out on an opportunity there. So it does all that behind the scenes work for you. It also helps you prep for interviews. And then for the employer or the recruiter side, SkillResi is a hiring manager platform built to support smarter and more efficient interviewing. So it's a really big learning curve to learn how to interview people, which, Wes, because of this platform that you have. But the platform that I created transcribes your interview. It also gives you like a cheat sheet of buttons, what question to ask next. And even though a lot of hiring managers might not admit that they're bad at interviewing, this will streamline your hiring process, your interview process. It also takes the human bias out of the interview process, which I think AI it's a good platform to use for that. AI shouldn't be used to do human things. It should be used to make the human process easier, take out the human biases that are out there, and make it a more even playing field for everybody.
I love that. A lot to unpack there. So, number one, you said that you should start thinking or considering customizing your resume each time that you apply or to each industry that you have. So, should we be customizing our resume for every single job we're applying for, or if we're applying within different industries within our skill sets?
Every single job application you fill out should be customized. And here's why. Every company has different initiatives. Every job posting has different requirements. Even if you're going for the same type of role, the same industry, that's fine, but you're gonna miss the mark slightly if you don't customize your resume for each role. And here's the research that SkillResi does for you behind the scenes. One, it scrubs the internet to research the company that you are applying for. So it does all that background research for you to see, okay, what is this company looking for in their employees? And it brings that to the table. Two, for the job, the actual job description and the job title, it will research the job title, the history of the job at that company, and it brings that information to the table. Three, it will research who had the job before you, see what their background looked like, and then it will match up your resume, your skills that you gave it, and make sure that your skills that you have are as closely aligned with all of those factors as possible.
That's amazing. So it's kind of like Glassdoor and ChatGPT and Indeed on steroids.
On steroids and also honest. So one thing that those platforms won't do for you is it doesn't know to not lie. So ChatGPT, if you put your resume into ChatGPT and you say, make my resume the best resume for this job, it will do that, but it will lie for you because it doesn't know not to. My platform will not do that. So there's no red flags off the gate from the hiring managers. If they see 5 years of experience and on your LinkedIn you only have three, you're out. You're done. You lied. So my platform has, I guess, a moral compass.
Well, guardrails. Let's say guardrails.
Guardrails. Yeah, yeah.
That's awesome. So I want to talk also a little bit about something that I see a lot in this. And you're right. I've been in a hiring manager role before. I've been a terrible interviewer. I've always kind of joked, but there's a half truth to it. Is like I always really bad at taking people for their word and like not kind of reading in between the lines or like catching those yellow or red flags. But what I wanted to touch on is I think a lot of people right now don't know the difference in their resume on between the difference between like a task list and actual value added, or the difference between those two whenever they're building it out. So I wanted to ask, does Skill Resy kind of help you with that as well whenever you're applying or building your resume? Does it prompt you to create value as opposed to just writing a task list on your resume?
So it revolves around what you put into it. The more complete your profile is within the system, the better the resume generated will be. It also does pull from the job description and from the company, and it will try to create from what you gave it those types of value driven propositions, like, maybe they're looking for a 15% increase in sales, or they're looking for a KPI like saved the company $100,000 in vendor services, different things like that. Numbers talk. And I would say that the main thing with resumes is, I have a YouTube channel. I give tips on how to, nail the resume and make sure that you're talking about those points. But if it's not if you don't have those facts in Skill Resi, it's not going to make it up for you. And to answer your question, I guess shorter is no, it's not going to prompt you to add stuff because I don't want to give people the opportunity to say, hey, you're missing this, or do you want to add it? And then they're going to lie. I'd rather go with a more genuine approach of, okay, give us all your skills, give us everything that you've accomplished, and then let's go from there and see what we can do to attract the eye of the hiring manager.
How important is it to actually come with receipts or have fact-based data on your resume or application? If you're able to put that number and those data points down, does that help you? Is it something that you should be tracking whenever you're building your professional brand?
Yeah. So if you have success stories, making sure you capitalize on those success stories, what the KPIs were behind that, the numbers behind that, making sure that that is so clear at the very start of your resume is probably your best bet as far as impressing a hiring manager. But what Skill Resi will do is it will see okay, this company does like that information and we're going to try to highlight as much as we can. Or this company is more behavioral or cultural focused, and maybe it's more personality that they want to highlight instead of the numbers. So really, the reason why customization is so important is because every company has different goals. Every company looks at things in a different way. And in order to put your best foot forward, unless you're willing to do that research and figure out what that hiring manager might look at, then you should use something that's going to do that for you. Because in reality, a recruiter will give you 30 seconds to look at your resume. That's all you have to grab their attention, if they even click on it, by the way. Because if your resume is getting filtered out by an ATS system, a set of human eyes won't even look at it.
Yes, I've heard ATS in a previous podcast that I did with HR and tech recruiter, and that's very interesting to me. And she actually gave us less. So she said about 6 seconds that they can scan your resume and know whether you're a good fit or not. Because in a lot of cases, and then internally, just at my actual 9 to 5, I talk to HR people all the time, and for any type of open position, she can have up to 400 resumes. Now, obviously, they're not all qualified, but still, that's a big workload to try to sift through. So you have to be very efficient. So as we do more of these podcasts, I'll start to see what we can get in an average, but 30 seconds and 6 seconds, that's kind of a big difference. So let's talk about AI. So obviously AI is a great productivity tool, and I'm a firm believer that it can't replace the human touch. Now, we've talked about the importance of both a little bit, but I want to see if we can get some kind of debate or dialogue, because I feel like AI is a great productivity tool, but it cannot emulate who you are. As you said, it doesn't know not to lie. But also, if you don't give it the proper information, it doesn't know how to add it. So, what I like to do is build a very firm foundation and a great resume and know how to do that from day one. And then you put it into AI so it can condense it and do that kind of thankless work or grunt work that, obviously the editor in chief of your own resume, but I like to have somebody just type it out for me, please, and make it this long and make my summaries this short and get it done, because I got to apply to this one and go to the next one. But what are your thoughts on that? AI versus human? How good does the prompt or the original have to be before you send it over to AI?
Well, like I said, as far as ChatGPT goes, I do know that there are several reasons why you should not use ChatGPT or Claude or any of the other platforms for resume creation because, like I said, it doesn't know not
Can I
to
put you on
lie.
the spot? Can you give me a couple?
Which one? What
Either
do you mean?
any of them. Choose your poison. Give me a reason why we shouldn't be using ChatGPT to help us with our resume. I'm very interested in this.
Yeah, yeah. ChatGPT is very literal with what it's prompted to do. So if you say, make my resume the best match for this job description, and like on Skill Resy, you input your resume, you input the job description, and then it's supposed to magically create the best resume, right? So ChatGPT will take that same set of information, but it's going to say, ooh, one of the requirements on this job description is 5 years of engineering experience, and this person doesn't have it, but it did say, make it the best resume. So, in order to do that, I have to fulfill that requirement. And it will lie and say, okay, this newly generated resume, okay, you have 5 years of experience all of a sudden. Congratulations. It promoted you somehow. What's going to end up happening is you might get that interview, and that hiring manager might end up liking you. But when it comes to figuring out your actual experience, getting references and, doing all that background information, the hiring manager will find out that that's not accurate, and you will then be blackbarred from that company forever. because in the ATS systems, the hiring manager has to click, why did we not go with this candidate after you interviewed them? And they're going to say they lied on their resume. You will never be considered again.
Well, that's interesting. And part of my program too in brand builders, I do talk about building your core group of people that you will have as a reference, people that you can kind of not only rely on to have as a reference on your resume, but they would be considered your core crew, your iron council, the people that you refer to and will shoot you straight, will help you get better, let you know whenever you're fudging it a little bit, maybe even remind you of some things that you did that you can put that are truthful on the resume that you may have forgot or may not have seemed like they were that big of a deal to you. So, I am a strong proponent of making sure that you have good references, but not just like your buddy that you worked with at McDonald's, but somebody that you actually were on a team with and that you worked really hard with, that you guys accomplished some kind of cool tasks and that you can reminisce with and actually try to not fluff up your resume, but actually remember those stats that we were talking about earlier, where you bring your resume, your receipts, and you have people that were in the trenches with you that also remember that. So maybe not rely on just yourself. Should also look to your references and your iron council to
Yeah,
help you remember the things that you accomplished as well.
sure.
If you're trying to grow in your career, build a personal brand, or become an elite vendor in the CPG space, I have everything that you need at bevedu.co. I've built onboarding, sales training, and career development programs designed to help you get to that next level professionally, all for the cost of an ebook. If you're looking to get to the next level in this industry, but you're not getting the coaching and development that you feel like you deserve, you gotta check out bevedu.co. I'm breaking down 20 years of industry knowledge and trial and error, all in one spot. Let's get back into it. So let's talk about that a little bit. Obviously, you take a great deal of pride in helping people professionally. I'm interested in hearing a really great success story. Is there any one that pops to mind that you'd like to brag about a little bit?
Oh my gosh. Well, for hiring, I've hired so many great people in my 15-year career in recruiting that it's hard to pick just one. But Skill Resy is newer. It launched in November, and in November I started looking for influencers to help me build the brand and build the reputation and get it out there. So the first influencer that we had on camera with me to talk about Skill Resy, she was in nursing school. She had her dream job lined up. She knew what she wanted to do, and she was about to graduate nursing school. So I only had a couple of months with her where she was available to kind of help me make videos and stuff. So in the beginning of my social media, you'll see her. And so she used Skill Resy one, the studying platform on the student side, which is also available, but a little bit more of a hidden niche in there. When it came time to applying to roles, she used the resume generator. She used it for each and every role, customized her resume. Not only did she get multiple interviews, she got 2 job offers for her dream job straight out of nursing school, and I was like, "This is exactly why I made this." Because some people think my dream job is too far to get. My dream job will never happen because I don't know how to interview. I'm not good at bragging about myself. I'm not good about talking about my skill or my background but I know I would really love to do this job. And sometimes it's the confidence level that really needs to increase. You don't need to increase your skills. You have the skills. You just need to increase your confidence level. And with Skill Resy, you can help interview prep. So any time of day you want to talk to Scout the Fox is the mascot, right? He's the AI component of Skill
Yeah, yeah,
Resy.
I see him.
And he's a cute little fox. And anytime you want to try to prepare for an interview and have a little question and answer session with him, every time you do that, it's going to help you learn what to say next. And if you don't know the answer, you can click a button and say, "What would you say?" And it'll give you the answer right then on the spot. So as Scout the Fox is asking you questions, you can then say, "Oh, I need the answer." and you'll be able to say the answer out loud. You know, you're reading it, yes, but the more you read and speak things out loud, the more it's going to come naturally to you when a human question comes your way. And then you're going to say, oh, I've
Sure.
been asked this question several times. I know exactly how to answer it.
I would argue it's not enough just to create all of these custom resumes, but you also kind of have to read it. Like you said, it's not necessarily a script, but it is your prompt and it will kind of be a guide whenever you get these questions. And I've had a ton of jobs in my life and done a lot of interviews, and you'll start to get kind of familiar. Hopefully, it doesn't get so formulaic where you're just like, I'm going through all these interviews and I've just, you know, I'm already prepared for the questions. But you can do a lot of self studying. And I think that, Scout the Fox is a great tool and resource to use if you were trying to like prepare for an interview. But outside of that, I mean, you can also just kind of Google and go down a list of generic questions. A lot of what brand builders is on my side is also geared at those people, not necessarily getting out of college, but people getting out of high school, people that don't have a lot to necessarily put on their resume, help them kind of build it out, because I feel like even outside of like the college world, going through a process of being on a team or being in some type of academic or being in UIL or something like that, that is something that's important to put on a resume. It's not always a college degree that is going to get you the role. Especially like me, I'm in a trade. It's something that you have to learn over time, and a little bit of discipline and self teaching can go a long way. But I feel like a lot of people getting out of college are just, they feel like, okay, well, I have this piece of paper, so now I have a job waiting for me on the other side. I don't really feel like that's the case anymore. Do you?
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I think that hiring managers in the last few years have kind of had it with the new generation that's coming in, expecting a silver platter of, okay, well, I just graduated, so of course I'm going to get $100,000 job right out of college, right? Because I spent so much money on college. Well,
Right.
nobody taught them or prepared them that, hey, guess what? That's definitely not the case. That is not 100% going to ensure you get a high paying job as soon as you graduate. That's not always enough, especially depending on the field that you're going in. And to your point, niches are going to want to hire people with the experience over the college of education. So sometimes people are so focused on just, I have a degree and that's it. That's all I need. That's not all you need. You need to build your network. You need to get on LinkedIn. You need to show some professional presence, because if you don't have that, they don't have anything to go on except for, okay, you graduated college. And a lot of companies aren't going to hire someone straight out of college. So you need to apply for internships, even if they're not paying you. You need to get the experience, a little bit of experience, and fight and claw your way for that experience and take the opportunities that you're given instead of expecting a silver platter of the highest salary and the best benefits and, all of these other things right off the bat. That's earned. It's not given.
You're talking about take that internship and use that and work on your LinkedIn and stuff like that. Right now, LinkedIn is such an underutilized platform. It is a really good place to start building and developing your personal and professional brand. And let's say once you get out of college, it's kind of too late to start taking advantage of that. If you're in an internship right now, I think that one of the best things that you can do is start to document that as if it was your job or your career. Document those wins and successes as an intern at whatever industry or company that you're at right now, as if you were hired for a role to do that. And document it, put it in there. It's something that you will then be able to start putting on your resume. It'll be documented on your LinkedIn, because I 100% guarantee you a hiring manager now in 2026 is going straight to your LinkedIn or some type of social platform, and they're looking for social proof
Yes.
that will show them that you are doing your best to stand out above and beyond. So I think more than ever, being on socials and actually using it as a way to promote yourself It's not enough to walk in with a paper resume and, demand a role.
Yeah, I agree. And LinkedIn, I mean, really, high schools should be telling students start your LinkedIn now. Start with your friends because guess what? Your friends are going to grow up, they're going to get jobs, they're going to say, hey, I know that my company that I landed a job with is hiring. And it's the connections you make sometimes, especially when you get older. You'll see that people complain like, oh, well, I've got 15, 20 years of experience and now my salary's so high, I can't compete against the 30-year-olds or the 20-year-olds. And they call it ageism. But really, if you're 40, 50, 60, and you're still looking for jobs and you don't have your LinkedIn connections stacked, you missed a huge boat there because that is the hidden job market that you should be going after when you're older. You shouldn't be competing against the 20 and 30-year-olds because you're right. Your salary is too high to potentially match them and try and compete against them.
You touched on a couple of things that got me thinking. So, one, high school should be coaching how to build out your resume and your professional
Yes.
profile on LinkedIn or
Yep.
whatever platform it is. That's your offer right now. And then you talked about networking. So, yes, network with your colleagues, the people that are around your age too. But now is also a perfect time, if you were in high school, to start talking to
Yes.
your buddies' friends or watching what their dads are doing, right? Or watching what their moms are doing. Ask them a little bit about what they're doing, or, your parents or whatever. See what they're doing. See if I would say there's probably, I don't even know the percentage, and now I'm just talking, but there's got to be a pretty good percentage of sons and daughters that just kind of fall into the role of whatever
Yes.
they saw their parents doing whenever they were professionals. But you may want to branch out or do something completely different, right? Like my family was in education and in the military. I didn't end up doing either one of those. I just happened to find that, you know, I think I was lucky in understanding that early on my skill set was talking, and I thought I would be in broadcasting. Doesn't really pay, but
There
luckily
you go.
talking actually parlays well with sales. So here I am selling. But yeah, I would encourage high schoolers, talk amongst your friends, get your network going of same age, but also look beyond that. Try to find an industry that speaks with you right now to your archetype and see if you can start trying to intern out of high school. If you are already in college, start blasting out connections on LinkedIn, figure that part out, and then start promoting that internship as if it was your job and start building that out, make posts about it and do all that. I'd say about 4 or 5 years ago, in my business, in my industry, posting pictures of displays and stuff that you were doing was about all we did, and we kind of kept it secret. I mean, in beverage, a lot of people gatekeep everything here, but whenever I started to really decide, "Hey, I need to start doing something different because I need to up level," I came from being a district sales manager, kind of fell out of love with the culture in an old company and started working in beer sales as a pre-sale rep from the ground up, and just I was like, "Look, this is I'm like in the minors. I need to like up level and I need to go somewhere different." And I was like, "Well, to do that, you're going to have to start acting a little bit different and thinking differently." And it took a minute for me to click because I didn't have like the guidance of somebody who had ever done this before. A buddy of mine, which is part of my Iron Council, part of my references that I'll always refer to, we started talking and we're both kind of enjoy broadcasting. We think along the same lines. And we were like, why don't we just take this industry and take LinkedIn and turn this platform on its head and do something that nobody has been doing? So then I just started making these time lapse videos of me building displays. I started actually posting like pictures and PDFs as if they
Right.
were presentations based off of the key performance indicators that were important to my industry. I started just posting that. And it started off as like PDFs. Then I started making little videos and then it started getting traction. And people were like, you'll have 2 group of people, right? You'll have the
Yeah.
one person that says, "Hey, that's really cool, you're revolutionizing the game." And the other person, like the old person that you're talking about that's on LinkedIn that's like, "I can't compete," right? That's like, this guy's doing too much. You're going to get some haters whenever you're trying to revolutionize something. And I think that there's a real danger in the old school way of thinking is like, we've always done it this way. Why should I have to change? I've been doing it this way for 20, 30 years, but here I am. I've been in beverage for 20 years. I've never seen anything like this, but I did have to decide that I was going to change the game about 5 years ago. And it really did. Like people notice that kind of stuff, and it may move into where
Yeah.
you can do your true passion within the industry. So always keep an open mind, never settle or think like, hey, we've always done it this
Yep.
way. I shouldn't have to change. It should be a growth mindset, not a scarcity mindset. And if you want to be a true leader, you shouldn't hold anything back. Like try to bring up somebody from the younger generation. If you're in this business and why try to compete? I would try to level up this person because it means a lot more for me to mentor and bring somebody up within my industry. And that looks a lot better on a resume than, hey, I increase sales. I mean, I increase sales every year. That's not a big deal. But whenever you can coach and develop somebody and bring them up, that I think would look better on your resume. Personally,
Yeah, for sure. I can see that you're very passionate about that too, and you're coming up with new ideas, and that's important. And it's important to also showcase those and make sure that everyone is doing their part in helping each other. It's not about winning against other people. It's about leading as a team.
that is well said. And I agree with that 100%. If somebody's listening to this right now, what is like the main takeaway that you would want them to take away from this conversation?
Well, selfishly, I want them to check out Skill Resy, and if they are either looking for a job or if they are a hiring manager, there's a tool for you that you can use there to help get your career either the dream job that you've been looking for, help you gain the confidence in interviewing, on both sides, because the interview tool is for the candidates, it's also for the hiring managers. I think my number one goal is please check it out and let me know what you think. I'm the founder and I am available for you to reach out to, give feedback, criticism, whatever you want to call it. I'm open to everything and I'm giving a free trial to everyone right now. So there is literally zero risk to using this platform. I'm fitting the bill for now until I can't anymore. And that's all the more reason to try to see if it can help boost your skills and make them visible. I think another thing that I want people to take away from this, and this is about AI. I have been criticized as single-handedly ruining the world because I'm creating an AI platform. And I think, fair to be fair, yes, AI is creating new infrastructure that needs to be built, new supercomputers that need to be built, and a lot more energy is going to be needs to be used to create a thing. But guess what? When the light bulb was invented, there was pushback on that. When the telephone was invented, there was pushback on that. When the internet was created, there was pushback on that. I mean, does everyone remember Y2K? Everyone thought that the planes were going to fall from the sky because Y2K, the computers don't know better, all humans do. Every era of improvement brings a new set of naysayers, brings a new set of people that are going to push forward. So you need to decide which side you're going to be on, or just be neutral and just see how it all plays out. But I think let's give it a chance. It doesn't have to be your enemy. It can work for you. And just like any other thing that you buy or you use the products that you feel resonate with your values, your morals, and you can't go wrong.
I agree. It's more of going back to that old school mindset. I shouldn't have to change. I haven't do this. Well, the machine is going to keep moving. Progression is still going to happen. And you can either let them catch up to you or you can adapt. That's the cool thing about being a human and actually having a brain is you can decide to adapt or you can decide to just sit there and you can shake your head at it and be mad at it, but it's not going to change. AI is a great productivity tool. I am a strong believer it's not a copy and paste machine. You can use it to help you, but in the end, you're the editor in chief of your own resume, your own personal brand, how you bring that to life, and how you speak to it. I do believe that it's a very good administrative assistant and helping you have all this stuff kind of compartmentalized and building out something that you can craft and then make uniquely your own. Obviously, they can go to skillresy.com, but where else can we find you?
You
Where
can
else
find
can
me
we hear
on
your words of
LinkedIn.
wisdom?
You can find me on LinkedIn. You can Crystal Petroski is my name on LinkedIn, so you can find me personally there. You can also find Skill Resy on LinkedIn. But Skill Resy is also on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, all of the major platforms. I do have some series coming out with interview tips, resume tips, and all of those types of things. So if that's an industry that you're interested in learning about, I can definitely help you. And just so you know too, I'm a recruiter at heart. I've been in recruitment for 15 years. I have my own staffing agency and I help people get jobs 100% of the time.
What space are you in?
So as far as staffing goes, I actually help with business professionals. So anything within an office is my niche for staffing. And that can be in any industry. But, IT, HR, accounting, administrative, sales, all of the office jobs is where I'm at, and I genuinely love helping people find jobs. I genuinely love helping companies build their superstar teams so that they can achieve their business goals.
Obviously you do, or you wouldn't have created this awesome website and this platform that helps people. So, and I think it's really cool that you're offering a free trial. I don't know how long that's going to last, but if you're seeing this, go check it out. I hope that you still have the opportunity, right? Don't miss out. So, I appreciate you taking the time to talk. Unless, of course, there's something else that you
No, I
might want to
think
add.
the main thing is just don't get discouraged. If you had one bad interview, that doesn't mean your life is over. If you get rejected from several jobs, it doesn't mean your life is over. You can still obtain your dream job. Let me help you. Just reach out.
Awesome. We're going to leave it there. I appreciate you and best of luck to everything. I hope you get a lot of people on your platform. So, thank you.
Thank you for having me.
If you found this episode valuable, check out one of these episodes. And don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on the next one. Let me know in the comments, what should I talk about next? Or who should I talk to next? And if you're interested in becoming an elite vendor or you're in need of a career coach, check out bevedu.co.